Hello and welcome to the reaction to the Champions League draw which has just finished. Manchester United have been put in Group B and they've got PSV Eindhoven, CSKA Moscow and Wolfsburg. On paper that looks like a relatively decent group for Manchester United. Wolfsburg's going to be a bit difficult, and obviously the CSKA Moscow one looks like it could be a bit tricky because I know Manchester City slipped up there. Playing them a little bit last season and didn't get the best results, and it can be a difficult tie. Now obviously the travelling is going to be a problem for that one. It's not going to be like we just played against Bruges, but hopefully we can qualify from that group. I mean, when I saw PSV come out, I was actually a bit relieved, although yesterday I was saying that I wouldn't mind getting a Barcelona type team, a really big team, or even Juventus, one of the big names. But when I saw them come out, I was actually a bit relieved. I thought, well, at least that should hopefully mean that we've got a buy through to at least the knockout stage. I mean, we should be looking to get through this group. I mean, real question marks will be asked if we don't qualify, because PSV are probably one of the weakest sides we could have got from pot one. So I'm overall pleased because, I mean, we could have got, I'm just looking here, Benfica, we could have got them, Zenit St. Petersburg as well. So, I mean, they're probably quite difficult ties, could be tricky ties as well. So PSV are probably, and they've obviously lost their best player to us, so obviously Memphis is going to go back to Holland to play against them, so that's a nice tie. Wolfsburg are obviously probably going to lose their talisman as well. De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's set for a 54 million pound move to Manchester City, so he probably won't be able to play, won't be playing in them games, so that could be an edge because he was quality for them last season. So just looking at some other groups, Chelsea obviously have got an easy group. They've got Porto, Dynamo, Kiev, Maccabi, Tel-Aviv. So they're pretty much certain, I would say, to qualify for the knockout stage. There's another English club. Manchester City have obviously got a hard one, Juventus, Monchengladbach and Sevilla. That's not going to be easy. And Arsenal have got Bayern Munich in their group. The others aren't too difficult. Olympiacos and Dynamo, Zagreb, so they should get through. But overall, absolutely delighted that we've got this group really, because we should be looking to make it to the knockout stage, at least the last 16. I'm just looking here at some of the other groups. I mean, Real Madrid have got PSG, so if we do qualify and win our group, we could end up, if Real Madrid win their group, to end up with PSG, just like Chelsea did last year, and get knocked out. So winning the group's not necessarily going to be the be and end all of going through, because I'm looking at some of the other groups. Zenit St. Petersburg, Valencia, Lyon and Ghent. I mean, that's a relatively easy group. Possibly Valencia could win that, even though they weren't in the first pot. I mean, Zenit St. Petersburg aren't the best of sides, so Lyon aren't as good as they were 7 years ago. So possibly we could, if we finish second in our group, still get a Zenit St. Petersburg or a Valencia. So, and if we win our group, we could end up with PSG. So, I mean, we could end up with Juventus if we finish top as well. If Man City win that group, or even Sevilla might win that group. Sevilla are quite a decent side. So, I will put every team and every group in the description box below. So, if you haven't seen who each team has got, please do check it out in the comment section, in the description box. It will be every single group, going from Group A all the way to Group H. Just looking here again, I mean, there's some really, I mean, Chelsea have obviously got the easiest one, but I think after that we've got the second easiest one, because Arsenal have got Bayern Munich, but apart from that you would expect them to get through. So I'm really expecting all the English clubs to get through. Hopefully there's going to be some cracking ties in there. Obviously my standout one is obviously Real Madrid and PSG, but obviously that one in our group, PSV versus Manchester United, seems like a cracker. Hopefully Memphis can be really up for that, because players going back to their old clubs usually up for it, and more often than not do bang in a goal. So we'll have to see where that goes. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think, what you make of the draw. I mean, do you think we can win this group? I mean, probably Wolfsburg probably are the most difficult tie out the group. I would say probably PSV are actually probably one of the the weakest team in the group, even though they're in pot one, because they've won a a weaker league. Moscow are obviously going to be really difficult. There's going to be a lot of travelling there. That was one of the furthest. There was one Minnows in this who I think they were from Kazakhstan or someone like that. I think that was further than Moscow, but this is one of the furthest ties. So it's going to be really, really long travels, but hopefully we will have to see when the fixtures are released. Hopefully there will be some relatively easier. I'm hoping that Manchester United play the likes of PSV, Wolfsburg, and obviously hopefully they play the CSKA Moscow one at home first. So that if they get them out of the way, then if we do have to go to Moscow later on in the group, hopefully we'll have cleaned the group up, won the group. We can be resting players and we won't have to take all the first team players to Moscow. So hopefully it will save us, because you're looking at that group there with Juventus and Sevilla and Monchengladbach for Manchester City. I mean, that's quite a difficult group. So if they don't, I mean, they're not going to sew that group up in the first 3 or 4 games. So they're really probably going to have to go down to the wire in that group, which is great for us challenging Manchester City. Hopefully, fingers crossed for the Premier League title, if we can keep our act together and push them quite a way this season. They look like probably the main candidates to win the Premier League at the moment. With obviously Chelsea, you've got a bye to the next round, I think, with a relatively easy group. So if Manchester United can sew the group up after, if we can get win 3 or 4 first games, then hopefully we'll be as good as through, and we can. The last couple of games usually you like to rest players. I know in recent years Barcelona have almost won their group pretty quickly sometimes. So then they're able to rest players in the last 2 games. Which if you've actually mathematically won the group with 2 games to spare, you can play some of the players you would play in the Capital One Cup. Give some younger players a bit more experience, the likes of Pereira if he stays, James Wilson, and them sort of players, which would be great for their experience. And if it's travelling to obviously CSKA Moscow, obviously we wouldn't have to take the likes of Wayne Rooney. He could stay at home, get a rest, and then if we've got a difficult game, I don't know who we'd probably have on the Saturday or the Sunday. If we've got a difficult game coming up on the weekend, they'll all be rested, refreshed for that game, and it will hopefully then give us a little bit of edge, because that Manchester City group does make me happy, because I wanted to actually see. Thinking about it this morning, I was when I woke up, I was thinking, I'm hoping Manchester City and Chelsea and that do get difficult draws and we get an easier draw, so that we can sew it up early. I was thinking yesterday I would like a bigger team, but then just looking at it, I thought let's just get the group stage sewn up early. We can then concentrate on the Premier League, because the knockout stage doesn't start till about February. Just shut up after about 3 or 4 games, hopefully win them, be quite clear, and then the others are struggling to finish their groups to get to the knockout stage, and they can't rest players for vital Premier League games. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Champions League draw. Please let me know your thoughts on Manchester United. Do you think they're going to progress? How do you see the English clubs doing in this Champions League this season? Do you think Manchester City will make it through? They've got a hard group. I hope they finish in the 3rd spot, so they get in the Europa League. A lot more travelling hopefully there for them. I mean, Chelsea obviously will probably win theirs. Arsenal will probably finish 2nd as they usually do, and then get another hard tie. So with Bayern Munich, that seems like a mouth-watering tie there. If Arsenal can get their shooting boots on, could be a lot of goals there. Be excited to see that. But do let me know your thoughts. What game are you really excited to look for? Is it the Memphis going back to PSV game? Please hit the like button. It really does help us out. Can't say that enough. Thank you for all your support. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel. We should have a preview for the Manchester United and Swansea game, hopefully later today or probably